Alright, I'm going to show you my first experience with changing the oil on my 2014 Sea-Doo Spark. I've bought a oil extraction kit off of eBay. It cost approximately 50 bucks. I've been doing a little bit of reading online about the procedure. Basically, you buy an extractor, you put the hose down the oil dipstick tube, extract what you can, and then press the fuel trigger while pushing the start button, and that will pump more oil out of the engine block into the oil pan until you extract basically the little over 2 quarts of oil. So I'm going to put my oil extractor together, and then we will try to extract the oil from the Sea-Doo Spark. Okay, after unboxing the oil extractor, basically comes in 4 main parts. You have the pump. This T-handle was not on the pump when I first got it, so I screwed the handle onto the pump. You have the reservoir, the big round holding tank, and you also have the tube, the dipstick tube. I'm ready for prime time. Anyway, take the dipstick tube, and it's just a real tight seal. Just press it onto the reservoir, and then your pump, the same way, it just presses down onto the reservoir also, and it's suction. There's a valve here on the reservoir that will allow air to be pulled through it. But not pushed back the other way. Cannot push the air back the other way. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Sea-Doo Spark. Has the oil dipstick tube access cap, and that's where we're going to put the tube down through and attempt to extract the oil. Alright, so we've taken the cap off. I'm going to attempt to pull the dipstick out. There's the dipstick. Oil still looks very clean. It's got 63 hours on it. You're supposed to change the oil the first time at 50, but I didn't buy the extraction kit. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff available, and I'm not going down to the Sea-Doo dealer and paying the $150 to change the oil in my ski. So I just had fun on it the rest of the year last year, and I didn't think 13 miles is gonna, or 13 hours is really gonna be a big issue. Okay, so we've placed the tube in, and it's not very deep because, as you can tell by the dipstick, it's only approximately 16 inches, if that, 14 inches. Down to the bottom of the oil pan anyhow. So we've placed the tube in, and I'm going to put the pump on top and see if we can extract some oil. I feel a difference in the pressure already. There it comes. I see it coming up out of the tube. I'll let it pull a little bit because I think I've created somewhat of a vacuum inside the reservoir. As you can see, I'm not pumping, but it's still pulling. Now I'm just going to keep pulling until I get air. It's still sucking oil through it. It's not very fast, but it is doing its job. I'll get back to you here in a minute. Okay, this is what it sounded like the first time. No, I didn't record it, but this is the what it looks like and sounds like when you've drained the oil pan. I'm going to turn the motor over by, I've got the lanyard attached, and I'm going to press the fuel trigger. I'm also going to pull the tube out of the dipstick a little bit. I don't think it would hit anything in there, but I'm going to pull the trigger and push the start-stop button. And try to pump whatever oil is left in the block into the oil pan. Okay, and I've already, if these rings, I'm not sure 100%, but if these rings signify a quart, I should be right around 2 quarts. So I really shouldn't have a whole lot of oil left in the motor, but I don't know because the extractor itself didn't actually come with any instructions. So I'm going to push the tube back down into the dipstick tube as far as I can go, and I'm going to again begin to pump the extractor pump, and I am pulling more oil, if you can see that, from the motor. And I won't bore you with more of this. I'll just go ahead and pause the video recorder and get back to you whenever it starts to pull air again. Okay, that time I pumped for about 20 or 30 seconds and it started to pull air. So I believe that we've pulled as much of the oil out as there is in the motor. I'm going to one more time. Press the trigger, push the start-stop button. Push the tube back down into the oil pan. And just try to extract just a little bit more, if I can. Okay, it's not, well, there it did pull a little bit more. Not much though, you can see it started bubbling almost immediately, so there's not much of anything left in the oil pan. I'm just going to let that sit until it does its thing and clears up. And it looks like, according to these lines, if these lines represent quarts, that I am right at 2 quarts of oil that I've extracted from the motor. And that's about what they say that you're going to change out, is somewhere around 2 quarts. Some say it's just under, some say it's just over 2 quarts of oil. And I'm going to pull the tube back out. Try not to get oil all over everything, and I'll be right back with how to refill the oil. Actually, I'll be right back with the oil filter removal. Okay, I'm taking the oil filter off now. You can look down inside of the engine compartment by taking the cover off and see. Let me zoom in and see if we can do it that way. That is the oil filter there. It has 3 inverted Torx bolts on it. I don't have an inverted Torx, so I'm using a 1/4 inch socket. I haven't stripped anything yet, so all's good. I'll get back to you when I take the oil filter canister off. Alright, I have all 3 bolts removed. I believe that the oil filter is now just hanging by the pressure of the O-ring. I try not to spill too much oil down in the engine compartment. Actually, I think it's just a cap now that I look at it, so I'm just going to raise the cap off of it, which is nice. It's a cap and not a canister. That was easy. I did spill a little bit of oil, but not too bad. I think if I get in here and catch it real quick. Just spray it down with some WD-40 and try to clean it up a little bit. It'll send it to the bottom. Next time I take the top off, I'll try to get any residuals. And let's see if I can get this thing out of here. Oh. Maybe if I use a screwdriver, I can get underneath the oil filter lip and it'll pop out. Yeah, there we go. That was pretty easy. Okay. I'm gonna try to contain as much of this oil as I can. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. There it is. There's the oil filter. There's still some oil down in there, and I might actually take the extraction tube, stick it down in that oil filter reservoir there, and pull out as much of the old oil as I can. I got 3 quarts of oil and only pulled out 2, so I might as well. Didn't take long for me to pull the rest of the oil out. Alright, so now I'll be right back. I'm going to go get my oil filter and my oil. Alright, so my oil extraction kit had a piece that I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but it's a funnel. It's just long enough to get out of the engine compartment, and I also have another funnel that I can sit inside of it. And I'm using the BRP synthetic blend oil that I bought from the Sea-Doo dealer. And I'm just going to put the 2 quarts of oil back into the machine. That I took out of it. Nothing, no rocket science here. Alright, I didn't like the fact that I couldn't see what was going on down there, so I went ahead and just got me a piece of garden hose and stuck it down in the tube and stuck my funnel down in the garden hose. I can see what's going on around the garden hose. It's dry, and obviously I can see around the top of it where my funnel's at. Everything's going hunky-dory. I just filled it up. I put 2 quarts of oil in the machine. Now I just got to get the oil filter back in place, prime it, and we should be good to go. Alright, one last thing I'm going to do before I check the oil. I'm going to go ahead and push the trigger. Benjamin, come here. Push the trigger and pump the engine over a few times just to try to prime so we don't have a dry start. Alrighty, I think that should be good. I'm going to let it set for a second. I'm going to check the oil levels through the dipstick, and I think we'll be good. Alright, I'm going to just let it sit there for a few minutes. I'm going to pull the dipstick back out, wipe it clean, put it back into the dipstick tube. Check it, and I am just under the max level, so I would say that that's good enough for me. Should be within operating range, and I'm going to put my cap back on, my dipstick tube, my cap back on, and start it up, let it run for a second. And I hope this was informative. Not too bad of a process. Probably took me about 30 minutes. For my first time, I don't think that's too bad. Probably won't take any more than about 15 minutes the next time. Definitely not worth going to the dealership and paying them the $150. They charge you $50 for the oil change kit, $50 for the oil change, and then $50 for the reset of the computer so that it doesn't flash maintenance required. So I might wait till somebody comes out with a computer that I can hook up to it to get that maintenance required off of it, but until then I can live with it.